For 30 years, there was only one rule for success in the modern world: learn to code. If you were a kid in the 2000s, it didn't matter where you were born: New York, Bangalore, or London, the path was clear. You get a computer science degree, you join a tech company, and you get paid. For a long time, software developer was ranked the number one best job in the US. It wasn't just a job, it was the golden ticket to the American dream. It was better than being a doctor, better than being a lawyer. You didn't need a decade of school. You just needed a laptop and the ability to solve a puzzle. Stock options turned coders into millionaires. Sign-on bonuses were bigger than parents' retirement savings. And for India, this was everything. My son works in IT, became the ultimate badge of honor at family functions. Bangalore turned from a quiet retirement city into India's Silicon Valley. It wasn't just about the engineers, it was an ecosystem. For every IT job, you had security guards, cab drivers, food delivery workers, and tiffin services. We built an entire modern identity around the idea that if you had a desk and a laptop, your future was secure. But that era, it's over. If you think India became an IT superpower because we were inventing the future, we need to have a serious conversation. We didn't. We became an IT superpower because we were cheap. The Indian IT model was built on a very simple idea: labor arbitrage. An engineer in New York costs $150,000. An engineer in Bangalore costs $15,000. Same degree, same output at a fraction of the cost. The business model was simple: bill per head. You hire a worker for $800, send them to a project paying $2,500, and keep the difference. It was a great business, but it wasn't technology. It was construction work for the digital age. We didn't build the next Google or AWS. We built the support teams for the people who did. And because the money was so easy and the growth was so consistent, nobody cared about R&D. In India, less than 2% of IT revenue went into research and development. Compare that to American tech companies, which spent 15 to 20%. We were the contractors, not the architects. And for 25 years, it worked beautifully, until the clients stopped asking, how can we do this cheaper, and started asking, why pay a person when a machine does it for the cost of electricity? If you want to understand the magnitude of this shift, look at the Nifty IT index. In early Feb 2026, it plummeted 19% in 8 days, wiping out roughly $50 billion in market capitalization. Why? Because the market realized that the Indian IT model was sitting in the crosshairs of AI automation. Analysts at Jefferies and Motilal Oswal now estimate that AI could eliminate 9 to 12% of IT services revenue over the next 3 to 4 years. We are facing an annual revenue deflation of 2% to 3% as automation compresses effort-based pricing. Think about what that means for a firm like TCS or Infosys. If 30% of your industry is at risk of AI-led deflation, you are looking at the death of the headcount-based billing model. In the first few months of 2026, the tech industry saw over 120,000 layoffs globally. Amazon cut 30,000 corporate and tech roles. Meta cut 8,000 jobs in April alone. Microsoft offered voluntary retirement to nearly 9,000 employees. We've seen Salesforce hire 0 new engineers in fiscal year 2026 because their AI agents are handling their support and coding backlogs. We've seen junior coding job postings drop by 67% since 2022. The grunt work, the repetitive testing, the standard React CSS updates, the boilerplate API integration is gone. So why are the layoffs happening? Why are companies like Google, Meta, and Microsoft cutting thousands of jobs? It's because of a tool that can do the work of an entire team in minutes. It started with ChatGPT, but today we have tools like GitHub Copilot and Claude. Satya Nadella from Microsoft recently mentioned that 30% of all code at Microsoft is now AI generated. At some startups, that number is as high as 70%. Now here's the irony. Every software engineer knows that AI generated code isn't perfect. Only 3% of developers actually trust AI output, and 46% actively distrust it. Yet, 84% of engineers are using it anyway. Why? Because it's an arms race. If you don't use AI to write code, you get left behind by the engineer next to you who does. It's an addiction. You get a dopamine hit from the AI finishing your work in 30 seconds. But here's the trap. Every time a developer uses AI to finish a task, they are feeding the machine that is learning to do their job. We are training our own replacements. A senior engineer with 12 years of experience might be great at complex thinking, but if the company can hire an AI agent that works 24/7, never takes a vacation, never asks for equity, and costs a few $100s a month, the math isn't just compelling, it's inevitable. This is why junior and entry-level coding jobs have dropped by 67% since 2022. The grunt work, the repetitive coding that juniors used to do to learn the ropes, is being automated. So is the software engineering job dead? Not necessarily, but it is changing into something unrecognizable. Andrej Karpathy, a legend in the AI space, calls this software 2.0. In the old world, software 1.0, we spent years learning languages like Python or Java to write explicit instructions for computers. In the new world, we don't write the code line by line, we act as the architects. We collect data, we label it, we manipulate it, and we show the AI what we want. The AI figures out how to build it. The job is shifting from writing code to supervising AI. But this is brutal for the traditional Indian IT model. Our colleges and training programs were designed for the opposite, training thousands of people to do repetitive structured work. But repetitive structured work is exactly what AI does best. If your advantage was being a cheap cognitive labor option, that advantage just evaporated. I know this sounds terrifying, but look, tech has always been about pressure. You can't have the high salaries and the lifestyle without the requirement requirement to constantly adapt. That is the game we signed up for. So what is the way forward? Stop being a contractor and start being an owner. The bill per head model is dying. The future is value driven. If you are in IT, you need to move toward high value roles. Think of global capability centers or GCCs, places where actual R&D happens. These hubs hire fewer people, but they pay better and the work is actual innovation, not just maintenance. Focus on the human in the loop. AI cannot automate judgment. It can write a function, but it cannot sit with the client and figure out what the business actually needs. Strategy, decision making, and understanding human problems are skills that machines can't touch. Learn the why, not just the how. In a world where AI can build an app in a day, knowing how to code isn't enough. You need to know what to build, how it fits into a business, and how to manage the AI agents that are doing the heavy lifting. If you look at the companies that are hiring, they aren't looking for coders, they are looking for cloud migration architects. People who can actually move legacy systems to the cloud and not just maintain them. AI infrastructure engineers. Companies like Amazon are pouring $200 billion into data centers and custom AI chips. They need the people who build the pipes for the AI, not just the people who use it. And the third, security and governance experts. As we automate, we create massive vulnerabilities. Cybersecurity and ethical hacking roles are now the safest bets in the industry. Mid-tier companies like Coforge, Emphasis, and Persistent Systems actually outperformed the large-cap tech giants in Q1 2026 with 20% revenue growth compared to the flat performance of the top 5. This is because they stopped trying to be everything to everyone and pivoted to specific high-value AI implementation deals. We have to stop looking at software engineering as a factory job where you punch a clock, write 50 lines of code, and go home. That factory is closing. The people who will survive this aren't the ones who can write the cleanest Python scripts. The survivors will be the ones who can look at a problem, see the big picture, and use AI to build the solution faster than anyone else. This isn't the end of innovation. It's the beginning of a world where regular people can create software without spending years learning syntax. It's the end of the software developer as a gatekeeper and the beginning of the software creator. The tragedy of the last 30 years is that we had the talent. We had the researchers, people like Ashish Vaswani and Nikki Parmar, who built the core technology behind the AI that is now changing the world. But they built it in California, not at home. We focused on the billable hour while the rest of the world focused on the breakthrough. The formula that made the last 25 years successful is dead. It's not coming back. But that doesn't mean your career is over. You have two choices. You can be the person who complains that the factory job of software engineering is gone, or you can be the architect who uses AI to build 10 times faster than your predecessor ever could. The world doesn't need more people to write code. The world needs more people to solve problems. Which one are you? Let me know in the comments. And if you're working in IT right now, what is your plan for the next 5 years? I read all your comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives if you found this video engaging, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.